Hello guys, and welcome back to this new video in which we are going to try to answer to one simple question. That is, why women started shaving. Alright, now let's start. So, the very concise, very precise answer is after or during and after the First World War. But we have to take a step back and understanding exactly what happens during that period of time. So let's start. First of all, in 1903, there was a razor that was known as a cutthroat razor that was used only in public places, to men, by other men, and shaving was not really such a big deal, meaning women were required up until that point to shave basically hair on their face and on their neck. That was pretty much the only part that was truly exposed. The dresses were quite long, quite covering, so there wasn't the need for them to shave. Shaving was a masculine thing. And maybe only beard, not so much, any other body part. So, 1903, we have the first razor cutthroat. So, you can kind of understand from its nickname that it wasn't that safe. 1915, everything changed with the Gillette and with the campaign for Gillette. Now, before that, Gillette actually put on the market this disposable razor. They became so popular. One reason is that this one wasn't necessarily gonna kill you. Another reason is that we have plumbing and then we have private bathrooms, right? And all of that happens around the beginning of the 20th century, more than 19th, end of 19th, beginning of 20th century. And that was a great revolution because you had inside private bathroom. So people started like full fear also of being contagious or contracting diseases. They started washing daily, and they would also use, once it was on the market, the disposable razor by Gillette. And the disposable razor was aggressively publicized for men, only for men initially, and that was more or less to prevent lice or vermin from nesting into one's hair, right? And so that was its primary usage. Now, the same time, it's also the same time of the First World War. It's the same time in which you'll have that nylon and silk were deployed for military purpose. So there was a scarcity, there was a lack of those products. And those products were extremely important because women's skirts started to be shorter. So instead of arriving to the ankle, they were like just right below the knee. And one thing that was very popular was stockings. Stockings in nylon or in silk would cover women's hair. But once nylon and silk were used, what was commercialized for women, what was available to women, was liquid stockings. Now, liquid stockings would not prevent anybody from seeing the women's hair on the leg. And so that was a big deal. That was somewhat a game changer. That the fact that razors were in the house, the fact that Gillette proposed another aggressive campaign to publicize heavily to women, considering the lackage of nylon and silk and the presence of liquid stocking, their razors to shave their legs. The fact that dresses became to be sleeveless and also shorter, that all induced, those were like all the factors that induced women to use the razor. And to be more precise, it all started by using their husband's razor. And one good reason for that was the First World War, because the husband was away, and so they had the razors in the house. And then it was just a matter of reformulating, rephrasing on the market the usage of razors. And Gillette in that was extremely exceptional. So that all happened, which makes us wonder what were exactly the methods that were deployed before the First World War. Several. The answer is several. So the first one that we can think of, one that was very, very common, unfortunately, was X-ray. There were just like private shops where women would go and get an X-ray, and that would of course eliminate all the body hair. The problem, the huge problem, huge as much as house probably, is that X-rays, as we know, are not very good to your body. They actually are the opposite. They're very harmful. However, this was not known. The cost was prohibitive, yet women, especially middle-class women, would go there in the hope that that would get them a better job, a better economic position. So hair was pretty much connected to the social standing in society. So X-ray was certainly one of the many methods deployed to remove hair. The other one was not as dangerous, but was very harmful, especially when the area to treat was quite large. And this method was electrolysis. Now, electrolysis was pretty much connecting a needle into the hair follicle, and then connecting the needle to what is like a battery, a galvanic battery. And that consequently led to a lot of pain, a lot of pain. The other method were depilatory creams. Now you might think, oh, finally we have like a good one. In reality, not so much a good one, because basically those were caustic chemicals that were used initially with the purpose of removing hair from the animals, especially from homogenizing the process of meat and producing and distributing meat. They were using caustic chemicals that would remove the hair of an animal. And that produced all sorts of repercussions, all sorts of like atrophy. People were disfigured, maimed, they developed like paralysis, you know, to their faces and things like that. And they will still do it, but they, you know, endured first a lot of pain to maybe permanent consequences. The other one, which was like the less harmful we have on the list, was shoemaker resin, or wax. It was some sort of like wax that they would use to wax themselves, in other words. And that was interesting because wax was also a different one, like was produced and used by women in ancient Egypt. And ancient Egyptian women were the ones who not only produced wax, but they also produced the concoction based on sugar, and they would use that to remove all body hair, all of it. And that was quite amazing. Even hair, like we know they were using wigs, right? So they would wax even their own head, and that way shave it completely. And that's interesting because nowadays we have gone to the extreme of removing hair everywhere, literally everywhere. Don't get me started. Even in the nose, which I get it for aesthetic purposes, I just don't get it because the hair inside the nose is there to prevent aggressive, you know, bacteria or microorganism from entering into your nose. So that's kind of like interesting. But anyway, all of that. Now, this is the history of when did women start shaving. With that being said, I do want to know all your thoughts. So comment below. Let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Comment below. Like the video if you have enjoyed this video. And we'll talk some more next time. Bye.